Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's Monday Live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's Monday Live. I'm not sure if that went through or not the first time because there was a little bit of a warning on my dashboard here. As you're coming in here, give me a hello and let me know how your Easter Sunday went or your Easter weekend. Ours went pretty good. We had a few technical issues, of course. All the gremlins with all of this technology lately, with everybody being online, it's getting kind of annoying. But we got them all straightened out. So let me know you're here. Say hi. Show me some fire. Get excited. Who's excited for this training today? We're going to go through a few tips that I have for you to learning the card combinations easily and without all the overwhelm. Hi, Tony. Now, there's over 3,000 combinations, card combinations for one deck of tarot cards. So trying to learn them all by memory, it's pretty much impossible. And also, when you're doing a reading for a client or even yourself, the card combination, you can have the same card combination in multiple different readings, but they will mean something completely different in each reading. On mobile, yeah. There's just so much going on with the internet, Tony. It's just hard to get on and stay on. So I'm hoping that this broadcast doesn't get interrupted here. But if it does, I'll go back. I'll try to get back on and go live again. So just if it does shut down, just give me a few minutes and I'll get back up here. Now, when it comes to card combinations, why do you need to learn to use them? With any tarot card reading, you have your base cards laid out in that reading. And when you add a clarifying card or another card on top of your base cards, it really gives more information and to your client and to you with the overall reading in order for you to give your client or yourself better advice and more in-depth steps as to what to do in order to solve whatever the problem is that the reading was being done for. It also helps with your storytelling. When you learn how to take a couple of cards and how they affect each other in any kind of a reading, such as, we have the Seven of Pentacles here, and then we have the Two of Swords. I'm just going to turn off that phone real quick. Sorry about that. It always seems to ring when I am online, when I'm live here. But if you take the Seven of Pentacles, which is waiting for your fruit to ripen or taking stock of what you did, really taking a breath before harvest. You've sown all your seeds. You're just waiting for everything, waiting for that time to harvest. And then you take the Two of Swords and you put it on there. The Seven of Swords or Seven of Pentacles can also mean writing down and making sure that the steps that you took to get to where you're at, so you can do that. You can repeat those steps to get that success. When you add the Two of Swords onto this could mean that you're having trouble making the decision on maybe what more to add to your harvest. Like if you were a farmer, you'd be thinking about, what other crops you can add to boost your income or boost your harvest, things like that. There's decisions that need to be made when it comes to your business. You're just not ready to make those decisions yet. You're having some difficulty, things like that. But in another reading, it can mean something different. It just depends on the reading itself, and it depends on the surrounding cards. Does that make sense? Yeah, it was my husband's friend. He'll call back. Okay, now when it comes to getting the learning these easily, it's you take the bases, your themes and your keywords. So with these two, is there a theme there? You're looking for any kind of a theme. One is a major, one is a minor, so there's not really a theme in there. You have, justice is about those legal matters, and then you have the Three of Pentacles, which is about learning a craft, which can also have some legal issues that go along with it, like for the start of any kind of a business. If you think of these two cards, there are legal matters that need to be dealt with. Maybe this combination is saying that whatever contracts that you're signing at this point in your learning your craft or starting your business, you need to make sure that your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed. Make sure everything is in order before moving forward, in order to make sure that everything is that you are protected, your clients are protected, your customers, etc. So when you take the key themes, you can put them together and use the keywords of what those cards mean in order to form those combinations easily. Of course, another way to do it is, of course, what I just showed you, using a major and a minor arcana in order to make actionable steps. Like I just said, make sure that you have your I's dotted, your T's crossed, what's ever going on here. Let me find another major and minor arcana. All right, and we'll just pull a random minor here. Okay, again, when you're looking at the major arcana and a minor arcana, we have the High Priestess, which is about listening to your intuition, that inner voice, and making sure that you're allowing those voices from the divine to come in and help guide you in the directions that you need to be going in. And then you have the Knight of Cups. And again, you can narrow this down by using, the Knight of Cups is, that person that I think of when I think of your relationships that you need to build in order to prosper. This is the daydreaming part on who you really want in your life and who is really going to be beneficial. So listening to your intuition when it comes to making those relationship decisions is going to benefit you tremendously, is what the combination of these two cards would be for me. Now, of course, you're going to have different interpretations because you're going to have different meanings for each of these cards because, of course, you've had different experiences in your life. But the basis for these two cards is the premise is still the same. Listening to your listening to that inner voice and your intuition, and listening to the people that are trying to help you decide if relationships are worth it or not, or who to keep around, and who to really distance yourself from. So using major and minor arcana is really helpful. Now, of course, you can look at the suits. Now, when you look at any of the cards, are the suits the same? Are they different? Let's just pull another couple randoms here. I've got 3 cards here. 2 are wands, and 1 is cups. 1 is that 9 of cups. So what do they have? Do they have anything in common? Well, yes, there's a lot of decision making, it looks like, in these cards, but there's also a lot of luck and coming to the end of those decision makings, because whatever luck is springing up there really helps propel you towards the end of that path and helps you to be able to let go of that load and put down that load. You've made the right decision. It's all panning out. It's your wish come true, and you can put down that heavy load. You see how I did, you can combine all three of these and make it into a little story. You're trying to make these decisions, and you're working on them, and you're thinking about it. Carol, yes, get a hold of me after this live. I am onboarding clients for myself and my students. So we'll set up a time after this is over, after this this live is over, and we can set something up for you for a reading. Okay. You're coming in from YouTube, so we'll set something. I'll get a hold of you somehow on YouTube. Okay. If you want to go over to Facebook and look for AO Book of Shadows and just join that group, that's the easiest way to get a hold of me directly. So even though this is a 3-card combination, it's just as easy to make 3-card combinations as it is to make 2-card combinations if you have your techniques down. Now, if you look at, that had a couple of wands in it. So there's a lot of passion behind that. And then you had that 9 of Cups coming in there, that it was the major Make-A-Wish card. So when you think of cups, those are your relationships. Those are your emotions. It's water element. It brings all of those emotions in. So what emotions is coming in there? That was happy. That was celebration. You've made the right decision, and everything is going your way. And then you can put down that heavy load finally. You've gotten to that point where you can just let it all go. Now, if you had all wands, it would have been, there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of inspiration going on. There's fast moving energy. With Pentacles, that has a lot to do with your possessions and your place in the world, your career, financial, things like that. And earthly, grounding, really getting to the bottom of things. And then you have the Swords, which is about information. So if you have a spread that has a lot of swords in it, you have a lot of information coming your way that you're going to have to process. Just depending on how many swords are there, what the questions were that were coming up, things like that. And when you take the base element, you can bring in those emotions. You can bring in, again, those events in your life and what had happened in your life, and be able to really start telling those stories and really making those connections with those cards. The further down you go, the more clarification cards you pull, the more it's going to clarify in your own head, and the more you're going to offer your clients and for your own readings. Now, the last one I want to talk about today is looking at the numerology. Now, if you have a lot of lower numbers in your cards, then that means you're just starting. And once you get up past 5, it means that, you're coming to the end of that journey, or coming to the end of the situation and things like that. So if you want to go in and do an in-depth research on what the numerology really means from 0 to 10, from 0 to 9, because once you get up into 10 and above, the double digits with the major arcana, you can narrow them down, and they have the same energy as the single digit cards. But some of those do also have a specific meaning as well, those individual numbers. So do the research on those as well. Does anybody have any questions about the card combinations before I get off here? And I am going to be offering for anybody that wants to join me, even if you're watching the replay here, I am having a class, just a pop-up class on Thursday at 1 p.m. It's $10 for the class. It can go on for, I think I'm going to have to limit it at probably 3 hours, but I want to really help those people that want to learn the combinations and have fun playing games. We're going to be on there, you know, from 1 to 3 hours, depending on who else is on there. But the link is in the description. A 10 can be a 1, Tony, yes. Because you're coming to an ending and you're going to be starting again. You know, with every ending, there is a beginning. You know, even with, you know, those 10 cards, you've reached that point, but now you're going to be starting all over again, and you're going to be moving up. And when you look at the next card, it's a page, and the page is new beginnings as well. So even though you've reached that point, you know, that 10, you're going to have to be starting over or starting a new path. You see what I'm saying? So yes, a 10 can be a 1, depending on the spread and depending on the questions that were going on. That's okay, Angela. It's going to be available. This ain't coming down. It's going to be on the page in the group, so you can just rewatch it when you get a minute. So if you want to join me for that class, it's going to be a bunch of fun. We're going to be going over many combinations. We're going to be playing different games in order to, and using those combinations with it. Do the numbers then link to the major arcana energies for the spread? They can, yes. They can 100%. And we will go over that in class today too, Tony. For those of you that are in the academy, we will be discussing this in the class as well. You're welcome, Angela. Okay, guys, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to get ready for class. And for those of you that are in the academy, I will see you at 11 o'clock. You guys have a wonderful day. Make sure you post any questions you have in the comments, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Have a great day, everybody.